Yeah, morning, Ted. Morning, Rob. So some bad news out of Trump's Twitter and sends the market down a couple of percent. So I actually haven't seen it yet, but apparently Trump. Oh, that's cool. Cool backdrop on my computer on my other screen here. Apparently back on with trade war. You can tell what the market cares about. Basically China at this stage. That's basically it. We're surviving the Fed. I think the Fed is the market's bitch right now. China issue is not the market's bitch, however. So, sub Russ? Yeah, Tariff Man. That's right. I forgot that. So here's IBD's article about it. Let's check it out for a minute. Do-do-do. Betcha Alibaba, which was looking good, is probably pretty destroyed this morning. China trade war is suddenly critical week. Ratcheted up the heat in the U.S. trade war Sunday, reviving a deadline he previously allowed to pass. Uh, yeah, the $200 billion tariff. Hmm. China's market collapsed. Shanghai down 5.6%. Wow, that's significant. It's good to know your sell rules. Absolutely. China-based Alibaba down about 5%. All right, so nothing major. Down by 2% so far. We bounced back a little bit, 1.75%. The volume is already really big. Even before the open, we were pretty big there in terms of volume. So it looks like even my global watch list, everything's basically red. TZA, which is the three times short the Russell 2000, is green. LAD positive. That's showing some overt strength right there. So see what happens today. The closes of these things are usually the telltale sign of which direction we should continue in. So a long way to go today until we see the close, but let's go to the bottom and see what's really taking it on the chin. Riot with a weird Bitcoin weekend. Weeboy, Weebo Huya, C Trip. Nothing horrendously down. 5% isn't the end of the world. It's quite a few down. Well, just down. There's quite a few just down. See if they use this as a potential buying opportunity. Baba came lower, hasn't undercut really any support though. It's down towards recent support, which could actually be a buy point. But if the market truly cares about China, and it probably does, because that's going to greatly affect the economy, then it may just be best to step aside. If we go back to the Nasdaq, you can tell the last time. I mean, when we had our bear market here, this was basically Fed plus China equals bear market. Is I think what this was here. Um, Easily could get a retracement to that 50-day moving average or near the area of the 50-day moving average. Somewhere in here. 7,000 to 7,400, pretty easily based on China alone. Now the Fed's basically capitulated at this stage, stating they're not going to let us have a, at least they're not going to let themselves influence the market in any way. So they're gonna listen to the market instead of be agnostic to the market, which is probably a little dangerous. I don't know. I'm not an economist, but it sounds a little bit dangerous. Anyway, so we'll see what happens here with some trippy trade talk stuff. Hey, what's up, Nighthawk? But as of right now, 1.69%. So we're coming back a little bit. So there's a decent possibility. I was actually thinking about this over the weekend. This kind of V base right here. V's aren't the best actually, but you see them often in index bottoms. You do see them sometimes in index bottoms, so it's not, it's not the end of the world in terms of that. But engulfing week, well, I don't think so. We closed at the high. We'd have to have our start above this. So by definition, we can't have an engulfing week. It would just be a really bad week. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, like I said, the closer usually really what you really want to see how the closes behave. The fact we're not just selling off in mass this morning is a pretty good sign. That obviously can change with an early morning consolidation that leads to lower prices. So far, it looks like we're rallying, but we'll see if that flips. Right now, I'm not really making any position changes at this stage. I'm still pretty heavy cash, so that's good. I still have part of my GPK position. A small docu position, which is just probably obliterated by now. And a little trade desk position. Looks like I'm still up ever so slightly on that one. So I'm just holding for right now. We'll see how the market behaves. Difficult to front run the market in these situations. It usually front runs you. So I'm just gonna give it some time and let it do what it's gonna do. Hold on a second, guys. I'm gonna go fill up my water. I didn't have any water this morning. Hold on. Water is good. I throw the full weight of my political capital behind drinking water. I think it's a good decision. I think you will not regret it. I was thinking about something a little bit as I was, walking over there to get my water. If you remember our bear market, we're just looking at that again, but I think that's where our attention needs to go at this stage. We don't need to be scared out of our minds or anything like that, but we do need to pay attention. If you remember over here, we were very news driven. Any news that came out was basically met with selling. Intraday, aftermarket, it doesn't matter. It was just basically met with selling. I can't trust anyone who doesn't like water. Yeah, that's true. There are some people that just just literally drink soda all the time. I used to be one of them actually. Not that I hated water, but maybe I did. I don't know. Yeah, really weird. My we have a five-stage RO system in our house. It's cheap. You can buy it on Amazon for like $100. But my 5-year-old son says all the time, "I love our water. It's better than candy." I'm like, wow, that's awesome. You know, your 5-year-old son really loves water. Must have a good little water system there. Yeah, five-stage RO. Highly recommend it. But yeah, I think it's going to be weird if we go back to a news-driven environment. That would not be healthy for the markets. You do not want to see a news-driven environment in the stock market. Um, if the kind of the way I think I view it, if the market is driven by the news cycle, it means that the institutions have no idea what's going on, and I don't think that that does not give us stability in the markets. It does not give you stability in the markets whatsoever. So if they do know what's going on, and say something a bad news article comes up and the market is kind of nonchalant about it, they know what's going on, they're cool with it, they're not distributing positions. But if a news article comes out and they're like WTF, and they start distributing positions based off of that, that could be bad. And that's what we saw during the bear market. It's just that they didn't know what was going on with the Fed. They didn't know what was going on with this trade war because it was brand new. Or deadlines were coming up and stuff. So we'll see what happens. Today's going to be an interesting day. I won't say critical day, but an interesting day. So, mentioned a few days ago, we had these little consolidations coming up. Could be starting one here. Looks like we've been in the middle of one for a little bit. And maybe this trade talk news will, at a minimum, give us more pause, if not a slight pullback in the markets, depending on how things go. What's up, Eli? Any brand of particular RO in the house? Would you use your house life as collateral on investing leverage long in water? Absolutely. I truly believe in long water investing. I already currently do have my house fully leveraged on water. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I took out a second, 2014 to go long water, and then I took out a third, and then I took out a fourth. Every time my house goes up 5%, I take out another mortgage to buy more water. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, so today not much to do. You live in Arizona, you have no water there, don't lie to us. Yeah, here, listen to this. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but that's the sound of sand cubes in liquid sand. What if there's a water stock? So water's so funny, man. Is water anything? There's Waters Corp. Are they bullish? Oh, they were. Oh, water just gapped down. There's an island top in water. So I'd be cautious here on water. Looks like my investment is, I guess it's doing okay. I bought a majority of it, back over here. It was a 17. Now it's up at 250. Do you guys think? Yes, it is, Russ. Yeah, it was funny. I think they should take a lot of these floodwaters from the Midwest off of the Mississippi because that Mississippi runs its banks. um, I think it should pump that water over here to the Mead, to the Colorado River, which feeds the Mead, which feeds everything else. So that's what I think they should do. Build a freaking water pipeline. Spotty stream? Okay. Well, here, I'll stop my stream and I'll restart it. Give me a second. All right. I'm back. Let me know if that's any better. And then we can continue with our water talk. Ground is squishy in East Texas. Huh. With what? With water? The tears of cowboys? With what? Or just you just have that much oil that the water's just squishy. Or oil, yeah, oil. Ooh, nice little base here in stars. I likey. Let's throw me an alert over here. What alerts do I have going on these days? Go away. I never know where to find alerts. Yes. Alerts. Squish that cat. My wife wants to get 2 new cats. I think I may move out. That's a cool looking screen. I don't think it does anything for you, but it's pretty cool looking. Alerts, there we go. Stars, Docu, Micron, GLW Corning? Is it Corning or whatever? And then Ferrari, it looks like. Race, what do I have on race? Oh, okay. It's a high alert. Look at that. Came back up to my alert and failed it the other day. Quite interesting. Squish that cat. So you're saying to be popular, you have to be weird and have a crazy catchphrase. That makes sense. I've got a friend named Joanne. She's just phenomenal, and we thought about starting a little skit comedy thing because she's just hilarious. And anyway, we have a lot of fun together, and we always think about starting a little comedy show. Like think that'd be pretty fun. So if we do that, we're gonna come up with a catchphrase. I think Eli's gonna have to make it. He comes up with some good ones. Markets are not doing so bad this morning. 1.66 for maintaining, which isn't too bad. Well, catchphrase and entertainment value are two different things. So, all right, any green this morning? Oh, a little bit. We got AMED, CME Group, LAD, AMED again, ANIC. Had a really good day on Friday. Newer. It looks like Newer is trying to get over a base of sorts. Yeah, right there. I'm not sure if this is the place I want to go taking a large bet on Newer, but I do like this general pattern. And I do like the price action for the most part. I don't like the fact that earnings are way too soon. That's a great little bottoming day right there. Look at that peak volume right on that little bottom day. That's what I was going to check in on. That's great. Earnings are 514, so in a week or so. Yep. And breaking that little trend line right there in the midst of a weird ass market. Really, really weird market. But that could show some overt strength there from Newer. Let's take a look at that thing. New Relic, 94 composite rating. Develops software that enables enterprises to collect, store, analyze amounts of data in real time. That's my favorite type of data, amounts. I love to analyze amounts of data. -280% EPS change last quarter. Negative 33% in the current quarter, so that's interesting. Oh, you do use New Relic? What do you use it for? Just is like it says analyze amounts of data. I have no idea what that even means. 59,000 or 5,900 earnings, 5,900% EPS estimated change for the current year. So that's not bad. 35% sales change, 39% 3-year sales growth rate, which is good. Pre-tax margin 0.3%. Wow. ROE is 0. Those are two pretty big red flags, but everything else is bullish. Market cap 6.2 billion. You would think that they would be making some money. 424 a couple weeks ago. Stocks rising market leadership. New Relic earns 94 relative strength rating. As a matter of fact, their relative strength not at new highs. Let's go read this article. Oh, okay. So it's not like it's like a application or website analytics. It's not necessarily like data analytics. Is that what it is? Because they say amounts of data. I have no idea what that even, like, that doesn't tell me anything. Okay, New Relic cleared a noteworthy performance benchmark with a relative strength jumping into the 80 plus. Just kind of skipping through. Going to give you guys the little snippets of worthwhile details. Decades of market research reveals that the best stocks have an 80 RS or higher. It's at 87 currently. It's a later stage pattern. Investors should be aware these are less likely to work. I don't know if I would view that as accurate. I mean, they're the experts. It's just like if you view this as a base and it undercuts this, doesn't this start a new base cycle? Earnings growth increased in the company's report from 0 to 280%, but top line fell 36% to 35%. May 8th is the next report. I think we just saw they pushed it out to the 14th. Yeah, it says 14th here. Holds number 5 ranking among its peers in computer software database industry group. Splunk is the top rated in the group. So they don't have a ton on New Relic in terms of information. Only one news article. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough, Eli. Composite rating 94 they have as a yellow. That's funny. Yeah, so newer, definitely. I'll put this towards on our actionable list if we don't have it already. I don't think we do. There we go. And yeah, it looks like it's attempting to do something earnings, and so where does IBD have it? So they also have 514, so they pushed their earnings date out by a little bit, week or so. All right, so New Relic. Let's do this. Let's mark it up 1.47%. So still kind of getting up a little bit there. So not dying as of yet. Let's look at this Splunk. Splunk. No, this is New Relic, not Splunk. Splunk's the first one. I guess I just felt like saying Splunk. Okay, so if we're doing a base count here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. So this makes it not a base. This could make a new base, which would be a base on base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we don't have a breakout, so I think they're considering this the same base. If this broke out and then fell, because obviously this is more than 7 weeks, and our percentage here, 114, 38%, that's pretty good. Could be a large cup and handle. I don't remember, did they say what base it was? I knew they said a later stage base, but not sure if they mentioned what the pattern was. It says working on consolidation. Doesn't say the the name of the base. Oh yeah, it never did undercut. They probably have this as a base right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's a 7-week flat base. We never did undercut that, so that's why they're saying it was never a. It's a later stage pattern. Although, like I said, I could have swore the rule was in a bear market all bases reset to 0. So, going off of oldie but goodie IBD rules, this is not a late stage base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This should be pretty easily either a flat base, 15.84%. So this technically should be a flat base if this is a reset base count. You've got a 50% run up there. I mean, that's... Oh no, I just remember that whole thing, bear markets reset base counts. I have to email Bill on that. Where's Bill? My state of the art email from AOL logged me out. Unable to proceed with your request. Please try again. Great, AOL. I refresh and I get the same error. My page doesn't even refresh. Piece of crap. Okay, I'm just closing this damn tab out. Now you can proceed with my request. All right. Oh, breaking. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry welcome their first child. Woohoo! I should text Joanne about that. She said she was waiting for that. All right, where's my email? You want a short Dell? Who doesn't want a short Dell? Is that their symbol still? Oh, wow. Yeah, these guys they have like 6 IPOs. That B. Scott or something. There we go, yeah. It's Bill Scott. You think they're overvalued? You're an analyst now? Huge amounts of returns. Yeah, they always have huge amounts of returns. What do you mean by overvalued? I mean, like, what's your metric? That's what I'm trying to... It seems to be in a pretty substantial uptrend. I don't like to jump in front of moving trains in either direction. Seems like kind of catching a falling knife a little bit. Just catching someone throwing a knife. It's like you're on the 3rd story, like, hey, Dave, throw that knife to me. And he throws it up. You're like, all right, got it. As long as you got your gloves, Eli, you're the one that showed me the gloves, so. All right, so things I'm going to ask my buddy Bill. Bill actually teaches the IBD meetup in Scottsdale. At least he did before it kind of got too much for him. Always willing to give good advice and always a helping hand. So he's a really good guy. And Yeah, he loves talking this stuff too, so Bill's awesome. Okay. So I thought that a bear market reset all base counts, but recently IBD is saying many bases are late stage. What's one I'm looking at? Newer, for example. I should go hang out with Bill one day. Bill's a nice guy. Oh yeah, what's another question I had about IBD stuff? Bill's kind of one of my go-to guys for that kind of stuff. Beyond up 3% today. Too early to have a base yet. So the proper way to handle an IPO, ladies and gentlemen, is you have to wait for a consolidation of some kind. And you can't have a consolidation really in 3 days. So a buy at 74 probably wouldn't be so advantageous. But you basically wait for the high of the first whatever, month, something like that. Anything past like 3 or 4 weeks. Sometimes, like even if this creates a little cup right here, that could be your thing. That could be your base. So if you see a little cup forming here, just that, just a little flag, anything. But 3 days isn't quite enough. 3 days not quite enough for that. But yeah, beyond is green. Markets will do okay, 1.6%. So we're maintaining, we're not dying, which is good. Volume's already we have a huge volume day today. If we don't go lower, that's probably going to be a good accumulation day, which would be nice. Let's see what's green today. We got INS. INS! What? How did you bounce and I didn't know it? Damn it. Oh, earnings. Shit. We missed out on that one. This is one of our ones we were tracking. And then figure they took it on my actionable list. And I missed it. See, this is how I end up with huge watch lists. I miss crap. That's garbage. Absolute garbage. That looked really good on Friday. Now it's continuing 4% up today. Shh. Stupid. That'd have been a great buy. Gapped up, came lower, and it's kept going up higher. Very low float coin, however, but that would have been a great little entry point. Oh well. Darn it. But it's coming up to a traditional buy point, which is up here 3808 would be its traditional buy point actually. Great volume on Friday too. Highest green volume it's ever had on the chart. Yeah, something like that. All right, TZA, MTZ, CME Group. LAD still doing fine. TripAdvisor, we noticed that the other day, breaking that trend line. Looks like it's still going. Still has earnings coming up. $5.7 aftermarket. So tomorrow aftermarket. 2 nice big stout green days. I like that. We'll see if that holds up. Domino's Pizza? Yeah, Domino's Pizza. Hexa with an interesting, got a resistance point there at 73.42 at its prior high. Looks like 72.50 for kind of a round number. And we're coming up to that one pretty quick. Let's look at the numbers on that. <clears throat> 92% composite rating, 74% relative strength rating, a little low on relative strength. Makes carbon fiber reinforcements, prepegs, other composites for aerospace, defense, and industrial markets. Cool. Nice. Make me an F1 car. Pretty good numbers. 24% EPS change last quarter. Last 3 quarters average EPS growth is 18%. 3-year EPS growth rate only 10%. That's not so good. Sales 13%, 5% over 3 years. So it's increased lately, so it's increasing again, which is good. Pre-tax margin 15%, ROE 19%. High ROE is very important. $6 billion market cap, 1.1 up down volume, and no news available for HXL. So I'd say it's okay. Definitely above average. Chart looks pretty good. Maybe actionable. It's a little choppy though. It does get a little choppy. Lope looking good. AVG resting in new highs. Ring falling out of that consolidation on my bottom left chart here. Ring right there falling out. That's no bueno. Going a little green here, 1.4%. We're seeing my whole screen's green now. When we open, there are like 3 green stocks here. So we're getting bought up, which is good. BIB, or BIIB, excuse me. Biogen, still not selling off. This could be pretty decent for a potential retrace of something at some time. Going up to some level. At some point. CRISPR, still pretty tight in this pattern. Looks like we're coming back again. SendGrid. Oh, why is this? Didn't this get bought? Why is it even a thing? Bye-bye, SendGrid. I just deleted you from my life. What happened? What happened? There we go. All right, so bye-bye, SendGrid. And that's all the green stuff today. But 1.4 market coming back. That is good. If this can remain, that is super. You look at that throughout the day. Just not, it hasn't really given it up. This is pretty good. This action so far is bullish. So, maybe they're just waiting for the next tweet to drop. That could be a thing. Beyond Meats, Beyond Green. INS extending its gains. Not interested in slowing down. This thing is, look at this. It could do something like that. See, this came out of the lows and then bam. Boom, boom. Retrace had a little base right there. So you're in the middle of this. Hard to know where this one's going to stop. We are coming up to highs, 37.95, 37.98 is the high, so we're right there. A little bit ago, we were not. We were at 36 and change, if I'm not mistaken. Now we're at 30, almost 38. So that big volume bar just came in right there for INS. Damn it, it's too late though. It's for me. Good morning, James. You're up a little earlier than usual. Is your brother up? Yeah. Yeah. You want to sit? Come here. How about bugs? TripAdvisor. Getting on with it. What did it do on earnings last couple of times? Gap down. Pretty big gap up after a huge lead in. Gap down. Up, down, up, down. Maybe it stays with the pattern and gaps up. TripAdvisor, probably one of my favorites right now. I really like those declining trendline breakouts. That's just a personal thing that I've noticed works pretty well for me. Also looks like we found support off of that. Whoops, I didn't mean to grab the whole thing. Found some support right there, so a test up here of at least 65 could be in order for TripAdvisor. Which is not that much, about 18% or 17%. So that's not bad at all. CRISPR green. We noted that earlier was coming back. Really very low volume today. You can see if we stay in line with what we've done here previously, we'll still have very, very minuscule volume on CRISPR. And ESNT is the other one that's green. And Newer just went green on my actionable list. It was green earlier, pulled back to green again. Newer looks good too. I would liken this for a more traditional breakout. Although the breakout point's a little bit higher, I would almost argue this is a cup and is 109. So 109.10, 109.10, 109, and that could give us a good place. So, all right, guys, I think I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna bounce. The market seems to be coming back okay. 136. Like I said, you got to see how this closes. If this closes towards the highs and like extends past this opening range in the NASDAQ, that's pretty good. That's actually pretty bullish. The volume is very, very elevated. So there's the Qs, which is the ETF manifestation of the S&P. And we're already at highs, but if we can come up and close kind of above yesterday's open, maybe that 10-day moving average, if you're looking at the Qs around the 190 level, I think that'd be a pretty good day. I don't think we're going to go into new highs. Obviously, that would be the best thing, is if we rallied here hard. Don't know if that's going to happen, but since the NASDAQ futures, which is what this NQ is, has a bit of a different price action. If this can close pretty high and above the open, I think that'd be really bullish. But only if the volume was heavy. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, if it can close up here with heavy volume, that would be really good. We're going to have heavy volume anyways, so it just depends what direction we're going to go. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.